Hello. We are now starting week 3 of Social Work 636, Organization and Program Development, here at Widener University Center for Social Work Education. So let's go over requirements for week 3. Here are our objectives, reading, and media requirements for the week. So you're being asked to describe the process of program development, articulate the components of a grant proposal, and develop a logic model. Readings for the week include the Kettner, Maroney, and Martin book, Part 3, Planning, Designing, and Tracking the Intervention, and the Randolph Johnson article on school-based mentoring programs. Websites that will help you in thinking about assignments and content for this week: Society for Nonprofits, Fundraising Guide, the Foundation Center, information on federal grants, and the Nonprofit Guide. There are 2 discussion posts for this week, and one is around this initial discussion of need. So for this week, beginning with your discussion form for this week, you will be writing a program funding proposal for the organization you selected in week 1. Pieces of the proposal will be due each week, and you will have the opportunity both to provide feedback to your peers on their proposals and to receive and incorporate peer feedback on your own proposal before receiving a grade. So for the discussion post this week, you have already been assigned triads. That information went out in an email to the class, and also an announcement to the class, but also individual emails to the different triads. As a reminder, please try to get working on time so that your partners can comment and their work does not get held up. So by Thursday of this week, you're going to complete the following using the template: statement of need, goals and objectives, and the logic model. And if I have put the template up already, so if you refer to that template, you can see that the instructions are there. So as a reminder, the program change that you're going to talk about doesn't have to be major, large, or expensive to make a difference. It could be a pilot program, a small program, which will be assessed for effectiveness, and the proposed program should be clearly linked to the unmet needs you have identified. So statement of need, you're going to be answering the following questions. So again, refer to the template. And that statement of needs, you're going to incorporate into this box, and then your goals and objectives. And we'll talk about them more. So 3 goals, 3 objectives under each goal. And then here's your model for the logic model, which is also described in your readings with inputs, throughputs, outputs, and then what your outcomes are going to be. So you're going to upload that completed template to the discussion forum as your initial post. And then each member of the triad will respond to your post. So each of you should have 2 responses, and that will help you in completing the final paper for grading. There is a second discussion forum for the week. So let's go back to here to the second discussion forum for the week. And this one is to identify prospective funders. So, in order to get your proposal funded, you're going to do a keyword search. And these are some ideas that will help you with that keyword search. Current funding would be preferable, but you can get ideas from a number of these sites. In terms of being able to name and describe the grant or other funding opportunity you found. Why did you choose this particular prospective funder? How do they fit with your program proposal? And then how difficult or easy was this process? What were your issues in trying to come up with funding for your proposal? So this is your criterion for your discussion post and what you were talking about this week. For this one, you are encouraged to respond to your peers, but you do not have to respond to your peers. And also for week 3, there's a reminder that reminds you that a draft of your program proposal part 1 was introduced this week. The revision is due next week. So I will give you comments on your week 3 program proposal, and then you'll resubmit it in week 4 for the actual grading of the assignment. So 1 is the discussion post, but this is now in week 4, the grading of your assignment. For your groups, you're going to stay together now until the end of the class, essentially. So your groups will be the ones you will be working on, and they will be commenting on your proposals each week. Just to say a little bit about the reading this week, which is part 3 of your text that goes over program hypothesis, which is a series of if-then statements. If you remember from research and the readings, if this happens, then that will happen. Goals and objectives. Remember, I've said this before, your goals are what you aspire to. They tend to be broad-based things like increase the well-being of a certain population. That's hard to measure, so that's what we aspire to. Your objectives are the measurable components, and those objectives are SMART. They're specific, they're measurable, they're achievable, they're realistic, and they are time-phased. In this activity for this week, you will also be looking at your logic model, which is your inputs, your throughputs, your outputs, and outcomes. And also, how would you evaluate? An evaluation should be thought about when you're designing your program. It's not an afterthought at the end. So how will you be designing? As a reminder, please remember to incorporate readings into any written assignment that you do. This demonstrates that you have done the readings, that you understand the readings, and you're able to incorporate theory into practice in those exercises. So, word to the wise, always incorporate elements from your reading assignments into your papers. If there are any questions, please get to me as soon as possible. My email, you could get to me always through the class. My personal email is norma.thomas13@gmail.com. Again, if you have any questions or any concerns about the assignment, please let me know as soon as possible. I look forward to reading your proposals for this week and your comments. So have a wonderful week.